The first ever piece of media I saw for Hotline Miami was this teaser trailer, and I don't know why, but it really got under my skin at the time. It stylistically borrows heavily from the film Drive, which I'm a big fan of, and features a nameless man going up a building while dressed as a rabbit and apparently killing a lot of people. Except we never see any of the actual killing, rather just his cold 1,000-yard stare. Even after he saved the girl, there's no moment of celebration, and he just looks like he's been through hell and regretted it. It's easy to say that this isn't your average game trailer, so it really made me think why Dennaton Games would want this to spearhead the tone and feeling of their game, especially when the actual gameplay looks and sounds like this. It's loud, bright and very, very bloody, with a bold retro aesthetic that harkens back to the 80s, when video nasties and slasher films like The Nightmare on Elm Street were about, and when video violence was at its most commercially appealing. On the surface level, it looks like the blood is only here for shock value, but Hotline Miami, and its sequel Wrong Number, actually do something with the way they present their violence which I think is quite nifty. Your typical level in Hotline Miami starts you off outside a large building, and your goal is always the same: kill everyone. You begin scavenging baseball bats and knives before moving up to shotguns and assault rifles, making you a more effective killer. You quickly get swept up in the moment-to-moment gameplay since you really need to stay on your toes and be constantly aware of danger. While bad guys go down with one solid hit, you are equally as fragile, so you always need to keep moving to stay alive. You shift between playing Predator and cornered prey in a heartbeat, as even the best of plans can quickly go south. Killing one of these guys is like cracking over a piñata. If you're lucky enough to corner the down enemy, you're rewarded with a flashy and gruesome execution animation. The arcade-like animation of getting points feels good, and it all contributes to an ever-growing combo meter that never gets as high as you want it. You've got to keep killing if you want those big points. The presentation as a whole feels like a video game version of what Tony Montana saw at the end of Scarface, doped up on coke and having the adrenaline rush of his life.
Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend!
And to cap it all off is this great pounding music that really gets your blood pumping. All this combined makes for one deranged and unique experience. We are in a constant state of euphoria and paranoia, and it feels absolutely amazing to play. But the moment you finish off the last remaining bad guy, there isn't some badass guitar riff or over-the-top kill counter that segues you onto the next level. Instead, the plug is pulled on your power trip, the music stops and shifts into this gnawing drone, and you're forced to trudge back through the carnage you left behind. This isn't some one-off special little thing the game does either. It happens after every single level, and it really makes you feel uncomfortable to live in your own skin. Backtracking has seldom done any justice in gaming, but here it serves to really emphasise the scale of your rampage. You walk back through the entirety of the level, and even between floors of buildings, the corpses stay exactly as you left them, which is a haunting little detail. It's creepy to know that the computer didn't put them there. You did. The pixelated gore on show here is alarmingly visceral if you really pause to look at it. The devs at Dennaton Games wanted to push the violence to the absolute limit of this game because they wanted to show the ugly side of killing people, something they believe is absent in a lot of other games, and frankly, that's a really cool philosophy to bring into a video game. Even in the midst of the gameplay, that thought of the ugliness of violence is always lingering somewhere in the back of your mind. While it's fun to chop down foes, you may feel that pang of cognitive dissonance when you do an especially nasty takedown. So when you're doing something really brutal, you may find yourself thinking this.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead!
At that point, the violence walks a very thin line between a spectacle and a disturbing nightmare. But the game forces you to choke down these bloody moments, because if you stop to think about it, you're likely to get killed, since it only takes one hit to get a game over. That long walk, though, gives you all the time in the world to look at what you left behind. The point system does a good job of dehumanising your enemies further during the actual gameplay, and anyone who ever played a video game is conditioned to understand that earning points and completing objectives is a good thing, even when you're doing something that's morally wrong. And in games, we love killing people. More often than not, we're blazing through enemies from left to right, not giving a damn about the consequences. But imagine going left after completing a level of Streets of Rage to see all the corpses of all the bad guys you left behind in your wake. Instead of feeling like a 90s badass, you'd feel pretty guilty. We kill a lot of people in games, but very few games highlight the implications and the ugliness of violence. Spec Ops: The Line and Undertale both dabbled in this area too, but Hotline Miami spells its message with the most blood. It kind of does that guilt trip thing that Austin Powers does whenever a henchman is killed, but in a way that makes you feel like a really bad person, and going back through the bloodshed after each level really grounds its violence after the roller coaster ride of the actual gameplay. I'd be lying though if I said I didn't eventually become desensitized to the blood after a while, in a Lord of the Flies kind of way, which in itself is a scary thought. Maybe that's why everyone wears animal masks. But the first few times you see this, it's really cool. In doing so, Hotline Miami dabbles in the psychological cost of violence, which in turn is exactly what this trailer is about. The duality of its gameplay never fails to make you feel a little bit conflicted about your actions, and only a video game is capable of this kind of thing. Hotline Miami is a series that plays with cognitive dissonance in a meaningful way. It's simultaneously a shameless celebration and a reflective look at video game violence, and I really, really dig that.